407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men
are created equal.
Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure.
We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We've come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives, that that nation might live.
It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this.
But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground.
The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it.
Far above our poor power to add or detract.
The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget.
But it can never forget what they did here.
It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced.
It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us.
That from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion.
That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain.
That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom.
Freedom.
And that government of the people,
by the people,
for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
The Battle of Gettysburg was the largest and bloodiest battle ever fought in North America. During the first 3 days of July 1863, the Union Army of the Potomac and the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia collided in a small town in southern Pennsylvania. More than 50,000 men fell as casualties. According to many historians, Gettysburg was the turning point of the American Civil War. It was the Confederacy's best chance to achieve victory, and it breathed new life into the Union war effort. Spring of 1863, Confederate forces under the command of General Robert E. Lee achieved a major victory over Major General Joseph Hooker at the Battle of Chancellorsville. Hundreds of miles away, Union soldiers under the command of Ulysses S. Grant were closing in on Vicksburg, Mississippi. On June 28th, Major General George Gordon Meade took General Hooker's position. President Lincoln's speech, the Gettysburg Address, just 272 words, served as a reminder to a war-weary public as to why the Union had to fight and win the Civil War. General Robert E. Lee's defeat and retreat from Gettysburg marked the last Confederate invasion in Northern Territory. It also marked the beginning of the Southern Army's decline. After the battle, attorney David Willis bought 17 acres of land to turn into a cemetery for soldiers who died. Just 2 weeks before the cemetery's dedication, Willis sent a letter to Lincoln requesting a few appropriate remarks to consecrate the grounds.